There is a special kind of loneliness that almost nobody talks about. It happens when you are not alone. It happens when you are lying next to the person you chose. The person you promised your life to. The person who says, "I love you." And yet, you feel miles away. You try to reach them. You ask how their day was. You ask what they are thinking. You ask what is wrong. And they say, "I'm fine." But you know they are not fine. You feel it in the silence. In the way their eyes look past you. In the way conversations skim the surface and never dive. And slowly, quietly, something inside you starts to burn out. Not in flames, in embers. You do not fight every day. You are not being abused. You are not being betrayed. You are just alone with someone. And that kind of loneliness can exhaust your soul. You start trying harder. You become more patient, more careful, more understanding. You tell yourself they just need time. You tell yourself they were not raised to express emotions. You tell yourself you are strong enough to carry both hearts. But carrying both hearts is heavy. You become the initiator of every deep conversation. You become the emotional thermostat of the house. You monitor their moods. You adjust your tone. You choose your words carefully. You become hyper-aware, and they remain closed, not cruel, just closed. You start asking yourself quiet questions you are afraid to say out loud. Why won't they let me in? Why am I the only one trying to connect? Why does loving them feel like knocking on a door that never opens? And here is the part that hurts the most. You begin to doubt yourself. Maybe I am too emotional. Maybe I ask for too much. Maybe I should just accept that this is how they are. So you shrink. You stop asking certain questions. You stop bringing up certain topics. You stop sharing certain fears. Because every time you open up and they do not meet you there, it feels like rejection. Not loud rejection, but quiet dismissal. And quiet dismissal over time feels like erosion. You begin to miss the version of yourself who used to speak freely. The version who did not rehearse every sentence before saying it. The version who felt safe being vulnerable. Loving someone who will not open up does something to your nervous system. You stay on alert. You scan their tone, their posture, their silence. You become an emotional detective. And that is exhausting. Marriage was not meant to feel like a guessing game. It was meant to feel like partnership. It was meant to feel like two people choosing each other every day, not just physically, but emotionally. And when you are the only one emotionally present, you feel invisible. You start to feel like a roommate with responsibilities instead of a partner with intimacy. You cook together. You handle bills. You manage schedules. But when it comes to the inner world, you are alone. And that loneliness does not scream. It whispers. It whispers late at night. It whispers in the car after another shallow conversation. It whispers when you see other couples laughing deeply and you wonder what that feels like. You are not asking for perfection. You are asking for presence. You are not asking them to be someone else. You are asking them to let you in. And sometimes the most painful part is knowing they might not even realize what they are doing. Some people were raised in homes where emotions were weakness. Some were taught that vulnerability is dangerous. Some survived by shutting down. Their silence may be protection, but it still wounds you. And here is where the quiet burnout begins. It begins when you start overcompensating. You become the encourager, the motivator, the peacekeeper. You tell yourself that if you love them enough, they will soften. If you are patient enough, they will speak. If you create a safe enough space, they will open up. But love is not a crowbar. You cannot pry someone open with devotion. And when months turn into years, you begin to feel tired in a way that sleep cannot fix. This is emotional fatigue. You wake up already drained. You dread another attempt at a conversation that leads nowhere. You start choosing silence too. Not because you want to, but because you are tired of reaching into the dark and grabbing nothing. And this is dangerous, because when both of you are silent, distance grows roots. You stop fighting for connection. You start surviving instead of thriving. You may still love them deeply, but love without emotional intimacy begins to feel hollow. You look at them and remember why you chose them. Their kindness, their loyalty, their strength, but you also feel the ache of what is missing. And sometimes that ache turns into resentment. You resent that you have to beg for basic emotional presence. You resent that your needs feel inconvenient. You resent that you are carrying the weight of connection alone. And then guilt creeps in. You feel guilty for wanting more. You feel guilty for feeling tired. You feel guilty for imagining a marriage where you feel truly seen. So you push it down. You become functional. You tell yourself this is just marriage. This is adulthood. This is life. But deep down, you know something is off. Marriage was never meant to be a one-way emotional street. It was meant to be two hearts meeting in the middle. If you are listening right now and this feels like your story, I need you to hear something clearly. Your desire for emotional connection is not weakness. It is not neediness. It is not drama. It is human. You were created for intimacy. Not just physical intimacy. Emotional intimacy. The kind where you can say, I am scared, and someone does not shut down. The kind where you can say, that hurt me, and someone leans in instead of walking away. The kind where silence feels peaceful, not tense. You deserve that. But here is the hard truth. You cannot force someone to open up. You can invite. You can model. You can create safety. But you cannot control their willingness. And trying to control it will burn you out completely. So what do? First, you stop abandoning yourself. In the process of trying to reach them, you may have stopped expressing your own needs clearly. Not angrily. Not accusing. Clearly. You say, I feel disconnected when we do not talk about what is really going on. You say, I need emotional closeness to feel secure in this marriage. You say, I want to understand you, but I cannot do that if you stay silent. You speak your truth calmly. And then you watch. Not for perfection. For effort. Effort is everything. Someone who struggles to open up but tries anyway is different from someone who refuses to try at all. Pay attention to effort. Second, you stop overfunctioning. You stop being the only emotional engine in the relationship. If they do not initiate deep conversations, allow the silence to reveal the gap. Do not fill every void. Sometimes people only recognize absence when they feel it. Third, you take care of your own emotional world. You cannot make them your only source of connection. Build friendships. Seek counsel. Invest in personal growth, not as a replacement for your spouse, but as a reminder that you are still alive, still valuable, still worthy of being heard. And finally, you ask yourself a brave question. Are they unwilling, or are they unaware? If they are unaware, honest conversations and possibly counseling can open doors. If they are unwilling, that is a deeper issue. Marriage requires participation. It requires vulnerability on both sides. You cannot build intimacy alone. And I need to say something that might feel uncomfortable. Loving someone does not mean losing yourself. Staying committed does not mean staying silent. Supporting your spouse does not mean shrinking your needs. The quiet burnout you feel is a signal, not a failure. It is your heart saying, I need more. Not more gifts. Not more money. Not more social media pictures. More connection. More honesty. More depth. You fell in love with the hope of being known. And there is nothing wrong with wanting that hope to become reality. But here is where grace enters the picture. Some people truly do not know how to open up. They were never taught the language of emotions. They do not know how to name what they feel. When you ask, what is wrong? They genuinely do not know. That does not excuse permanent emotional distance. But it may explain it. If your spouse is willing to learn, be patient. Growth is uncomfortable. Opening up can feel like stepping into fire for someone who has been emotionally guarded their whole life. Celebrate small steps. A sentence shared. A fear admitted. A tear not hidden. Those are victories. But if years pass and there is no movement, no effort, no desire to grow, you must decide what kind of marriage you are willing to live in. Not from anger. From clarity. You cannot pour your whole soul into someone who refuses to receive it. That is not love. That is self-erasure. And you were not created to disappear in your own marriage. You were created to stand beside someone. Face to face. Heart to heart. If this message is touching something deep inside you, do not ignore it. Do not numb it. Have the hard conversation, not to attack, but to invite. Say, I miss you. Say, I want to feel close to you. Say, I am tired of feeling alone in this. Sometimes your spouse does not realize the depth of your pain because you have hidden it so well. Let them see it. Vulnerability is risky, but silence is deadly. And if you are the one who struggles to open up, if you are listening and recognizing yourself in this, hear me too. Your silence may feel safe, but it is costing your marriage. Your partner is not asking you to be perfect. They are asking you to be present. They are asking you to let them carry your burdens with you. Strength is not emotional isolation. Strength is the courage to say, I do not know how to talk about this, but I want to try. Marriage is not just about staying. It is about showing up. Every day, not just with your body. With your heart. The quiet burnout of loving someone who will not open up does not happen overnight. It happens in small disappointments. In unanswered questions. In one-sided conversations. But it can be reversed. With honesty. With humility. With effort from both sides. You deserve a marriage where you feel seen. You deserve a marriage where your voice echoes back with understanding. You deserve a marriage where silence feels warm, not cold. And that kind of marriage is possible. Not because you demand it, but because both of you decide to build it. Brick by brick, conversation by conversation, truth by truth. Do not settle for emotional starvation. Do not convince yourself that loneliness is normal just because it is common. Common does not mean healthy. You are not asking for too much. You are asking for connection. And connection is the lifeline of every lasting marriage. So tonight, instead of letting the quiet burnout consume you, choose courage. Choose one honest sentence. Choose one vulnerable moment. Choose one step toward intimacy. And if they meet you there, keep building. If they struggle but try, keep encouraging. If they refuse, stop pretending it does not hurt. Your heart matters. Your needs matter. Your marriage matters. And love, real love, is not just about holding hands in public. It is about opening hearts in private. Do not lose yourself trying to love someone who will not open up. Invite them, support them, but stay whole. Because the strongest marriages are not built on silence. They are built on two people brave enough to be known. And that bravery can begin with you.